shit, guys, have I got a project for you. Look at this, I got me a trailer with an extra door in it. So anyhow, I guess it got hemmed up in some sort of a, you know, an issue it had with itself. So anyhow, it did that, but it came with this son of a bitch, whatever that is. But it's not all that great, because look at that. Where's all the things? So anyhow, this is pretty much what I do to myself on occasion. So I picked up this Evo. It's an 06 MR, and son of a bitch completely apart. Supposedly, you know, I don't know why I took it apart, but it's apart. And there's tranny, there's the engine, all the shit, you know, and well, most of the shit. It's missing certain things, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull this guy out of here, hose it off, because it's pretty damn dusty. But I've always wanted an Evo, but in my case, the only way I could ever get one is get a project. But I didn't ever know I'd have this big of a project.
You get stuck in your shit. What the fuck was that noise? Huh?
So what's really going on here?
Whoever's freezing his ass off. Watch this new big project.
How do you feel about this?
I'm like excited, but I'm like not like I am. But it's gonna like so much time and money to get this thing.
And what don't you have?
I have a little bit of time, I don't have that much money.
But Evo, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I have an Evo.
Evo time. Look at his new trailer. His new...
So anyhow, got it all washed up and got it inside. You know, kind of taking a little better look at everything. Trying to figure out, you know, exactly what it needs and what it has and what it doesn't, and kind of trying to figure out where to go with it. Figure out, you know, what I need to start ordering and looking around for. For sure needs a turbo. Has a turbo manifold, has intake manifold, has a clutch. I think it might need a new disc. You know, that one looks pretty worn. Transfer case. The pistons and rods look, you know, good, real good actually. You know, have a little bit of wear, but nothing, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. Bearings and stuff have a little bit of wear on them, but they're not, you know, they're not like worn out or anything like that. They have just like a little bit, almost looks like dirty oil, or you know how that goes. But anyhow, so I was thinking pretty much just kind of cleaning up the block, and throwing new bearings and having all that stuff measured. But clean up the block, you know, shouldn't be any issue with that. Have the head, you know, checked, make sure that it's all good. You know, maybe have it resurfaced just because it's kind of been, you know, thrown around and stuff like that. There's not anything major, but there's like little nicks here and there. So probably have the head resurfaced. I need valve springs and retainers, for sure. Those aren't there. I have the lifters. It has the cams. Those look good. The crank, you know, kind of from being thrown around. There's minor little things like that, so it may or may not need to be turned, or it could just be micro polished. You know, all of them are going the same direction, you know, and you can't really, there's nothing that jumps out at you, you know, with your fingernail or anything like that. So I think that might be okay, but the way it was laying in the box, it was kind of laying crooked, you know, and I don't know how long it was laying like that, and you know, technically they could get warped by doing that. And you know, same things with the cams. I was gonna basically have everything checked, you know, have the crank checked, the, you know, rod bearings clearanced, main bearings clearanced, have the head decked, get a new gasket kit for it, and you know, basically put it all back together and slap it in there and see what happens. For sure needs a intercooler, radiator, piping, you know, miscellaneous hoses, probably a bunch of nuts and bolts. It doesn't have like the AC condenser, which that would be awesome if it did. You know, it'd be nice to have a AC in a black car like this. And you know, has axles, has drive shaft, all that stuff. But so injectors, radiator, intercooler, little things, you know. So I just need to kind of compile a list and go from there. The other bad thing is he started like stripping it, essentially. So it has, you know, headliners out of it, you know, little things here and there. And he has these stupid like AutoZone, you know, seats in here, which I absolutely hate. And I don't know why the hell you'd sell the stock ones, or you know, maybe you got traded for them or whatever. And it has an Evo 8 rear seat. It has Evo 8 rear bumper, and it has an Evo 8 front bumper. But it has the Evo 9 headlights. The guy initially said it was a MR, you know, which has the factory 6-speed, but this one doesn't. This one has a 5-speed, but the transmission numbers and stuff don't match. The VINs on the tranny don't match the VINs on the car, but the VIN on the block matches the car. So anyhow, the tranny has been gone through by Jax. I had one of my other buddies come down here who actually used to work for him. He said that, yeah, they, you know, just from the signs, they clear coat them, and they kind of do some different things with the bolts, and you know, it just looks like they've been in there. And he said that there's not really much that actually goes wrong. They pretty much just kind of freshen them up, you know, and they're pretty strong to begin with. So if you break them, you know, no matter what, it's about the same price anyhow. It has this Moroso AMS oil pan, you know, the factory strut tower brace, and a bunch of little things. So yeah, I need to start doing some research and figuring out, you know, exactly you know, what all it's going to take. This isn't that's just a random piece, but I mean, I'm sure it's missing stuff here and there. So anyhow, day 2 of the Evo project or whatever. I got the crank, the rods and pistons, the girdle, the head, and the camshafts all in here in the block. So I'm taking them to the machine shop, kind of get a you know, opinion on all that stuff, kind of figure out where I'm going with the whole project or whatever. Well, I know where I'm going with it. I'm just gonna rebuild it like pretty much OEM rebuild, kind of as nice and as you know, cheap as I can, reusing as much crap as I can. I was thinking just a stock Evo 9 turbo, and go you know, pretty much just tune it, maybe injectors and maybe 85, but I don't know, maybe just OEM stock shit, you know, and have like a reliable dope car. But yeah, I'm gonna go drop that off. So anyhow, I bolted the hood and stuff back on it, zip tied the bumper on it. I hooked up the jumper box on it so I could, you know, roll up the windows and stuff. And then I went ahead and I put some of the interior back in. I hate these seats. These are like, the guy who had the car, he sold the factory seats, which sucks. But so now I have these, you know, AutoZone, like $200 a pair special seats, and I hate them. So I'm gonna try to figure out something else with seats. I just kind of threw the center console and the shifter thing in it. It came with this little gauge pod right there, and then I wiped down, you know, all the dash and stuff. It was real dirty. So the carpet looks like it's in pretty good shape. It almost smells like there's some like you know, there's been mice and stuff in here. So I need to put the vents and stuff back in there. Figure out what's all missing. It's missing the climate control thing. The glove box is in the trunk or somewhere. It has Evo 8 back seats, and then the headliner is out of it. So that sucks as well. So it needs a bunch of little things, but at least it has the ECU. It has, let's see, these are like fiberglass from the factory, but it has these solid mounts in it. It has a AMS fuel rail. Yeah, AMS fuel rail. It's got this little mini battery thing. So I need to order a radiator, intercooler, you know, basically a turbo manifold. It has the downpipe, and, you know, AC box, and one radiator hose. That's the pusher fan that goes on the front. So I guess on Evos there's one pusher fan right here, and then there's a puller fan over here, and just to kind of make room for the turbo right there. I was gonna try and see about some AC components from the junkyard, off of a Lancer, but I was looking at one of my buddy's Evos today, and I don't think it's actually gonna work. So yeah, pretty much just deciding what to do as far as the engine. I dropped it off up at McCabe Motorsports, which if you guys are familiar with that Ethan, that white S14 that has that like 700-800 horsepower Sprint car motor in it. He's the guy who built that. So they don't really do too much import stuff, but they build, you know, like 9,000 RPM, like crazy sprint car motors all the time. So they definitely know what they're doing, and their shop's really impressive. It's super clean, and all that stuff. So anyhow, the block is actually up there right now. The block and the head and the crank. Checked out the crank. The crank's good. They checked out the cams and stuff. They had a little bit of surface rust on them one of the ends did. So they polished that up, polished the crank, checked the crank. You know, I was kind of concerned just because it was like laying sideways in the box or whatever, the crate that all the stuff came in. So it's you know, it's good. The block is perfect. Had, you know, only 64,000 miles on it. You know, literally just looks like he just took the engine apart, and was going to build it. So I found a GT30 76R kit for sale that this guy's going to be shipping me. I found it. So I'm going to have a GT30 on there, and then so I'm just debating, talking to Street Tune Motorsports, pretty awesome guys over there, about ordering pretty much all my parts from them, you know, all the things that I'm missing. So I'm debating on whether to go forged or just, you know, kind of do the stock stuff, but I'm probably going to go just with the forged internals on it. It's only going to be like a $700 difference between that and the rest of it, or between that and like kind of updating or refreshing the stock stuff, because I was going to do rod bolts, because rod bolts I guess get weak, you know, or that's kind of one of the weaker points of like the stock rods and pistons and stuff. So I was going to do rod bolts, but then you have to resize the rods because it like clamps it harder. So yeah, I was going to do that. Probably just the forged stuff, manly HBM rods. They're, you know, lower end or whatever, and then the manly pistons, and then, you know, ARP head studs, you know, OEM gasket kit. And then I'm going to do, because it's missing the valve springs, retainers, keepers, and valve spring seats. and you can't really find like the valve spring seats for the 4G63s. Well, I guess maybe I haven't looked too hard, but it's like $380 for the SuperTech dual spring kit. And then I'm gonna see if I could find a set of cams, maybe some aftermarket cams, and then basically it'll be a built to shit Evo. Put some decent injectors in it, and I should be able to make, you know, 500 easy with it, which would be really cool. You know, like 500 horsepower all-wheel drive Evo. You know, so that'll be awesome as shit. The clutch, I got kind of some parts and stuff over here. I got the clutch and stuff right there. Looks a little worn, so I was probably gonna replace the disc. There's the transfer case. There's a box of parts. There's, you know, basically more parts: AC compressor, balance shafts, valve cover. Has this AMS oil pan, but I'm missing the oil pickup tube for it. So I need to talk to, you know, call AMS and see if I could actually order that, because this one holds, I think, almost 2 more quarts of oil than that. So yeah, basically after I do that, should be up and running. You know, after, I feel like I'm just going to be missing a bunch of little things here and there is going to be my issue. So I know as soon as I get the engine and get it started assembling and looking at it, then I'll really know what else I need. So as soon as I get the engine out and, you know, getting it sitting in here, it'll probably be about another week or 2 before I actually get it running. So, but yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I guess if you need Evo parts, check out Street Tune Motorsports. Those guys pretty much have absolutely everything you need. But yeah, so I think that concludes part 1 of the Evo. I just ended up painting a Civic, so I had it covered up. But yeah, I gained a few followers on Instagram from you know, kind of teasing you guys a little bit. But if you could go, you know, follow me on Instagram, maybe like the Motion Auto TV Facebook page. You know, that kind of help me out a little bit. You know, kind of share some information with you guys. Sometimes I get real busy at the shop, and I could snap a real quick picture, upload it, you know, during the week, and you guys could kind of know what's going on with some other things, and I might put some updates. Maybe I'll put some exclusive updates, Evo updates on there. But yeah, you know, I'll probably end up sharing some pictures, you know, on the Instagram and Facebook. So go check that out.